Welcome to the post show at the Ballito Pro, presented by O'Neill. Another fun day of competition here. 8 heats of the round of 32. And boys, the surf was pumping today.
I'm so glad we had the opportunity for these guys to surf some of the grunt and the groundswell and the power that the north coast of KZN is renowned for around the world.
Yeah, and that word power, Kai, no airs today, right? Because we're looking at power turns, hitting big sections, crucially getting completions.
Yeah, it was all about the completion today, and there were some really heavy sections out there. I think Mike was saying, you know, the guys were really excited to get the opportunity at some grunt and groundswell. I think Ballito was quite happy to have an opportunity at some of them as well.
A few discussions last night about what was going to be in store for us this morning. We're expecting it to be pretty solid and pretty energetic, and right from the get-go this morning, it didn't let us down. Let's take a look, remind ourselves, at the first heat of the day. Men's Heat 1 in the round of 32. And this one with some big names going well on the Challenger Series, and they had to be on the tools first thing this morning.
Yeah, with the initial setup this morning was a little unsettled still with the wind, and that improved as the day went on. We still had a little bit of sunshine earlier too, and in this first heat the guys were sort of just finding their way in the lineup but cracking some big turns.
Yeah, the West Australian was looking very comfortable out there, and Walker, of course, is on top of the rankings, and he's not looking like he's going to relinquish that position for anyone.
It's a great turn there for Luca Messinas. Finished second in the heat there with a score of 10.3. Jacob Willcox, he was really fast on his backhand, whipping that board up to the 12 o'clock position there, Kai.
But the story of the day, some big seeds dropping out, some top servers. I mean, big surprise in that first heat, Michael Rodriguez and Eli Hanneman gone.
Yeah, Rodriguez will be disappointed not to get out of that heat. Would have badly loved a result here and go and highlight real stuff. Big airs early on, coming in with loads of confidence. Also, Eli Hanneman, who just lit this place up, didn't he, the youngster, with big airs of his own. And they'll be disappointed coming up in a really tough heat. The leader on the Challenger Series, though, we talk about the way people react to being under pressure. Feels like sometimes always a bit easier to be slipping in the slipstream and trying to come up as a contender on the outside. But Jacob Willcox, so far, so good in terms of defending that top position. Of course, a lot of surfing yet to come. Other standout heats from this round that we've seen today. The penultimate heat of the round, heat number 7 of this round of 32, and some big names out in the water. And this one, it's always going to require big performances, and this guy, Kauli Vaast, looked solid, boys.
This was my favorite heat of the day, and the surfer from Tahiti showing what he can do in real power out here at Ballito.
Yeah, but this is the man of the moment at the moment, Cole Houshmand. He's really been on fire, winning in Sydney and just keeping that roll going now. You could see the confidence in him, and also just a really powerful surfer. It was a great battle between Kauli and Cole. The two goofy footers really putting their authority down in the water.
Well, that chat about veterans of the CT struggling here, a couple of them today, Kalohe and Dino, an outstanding surfer over the last decade or more on the championship tour, going down. Nat Young as well. Well, Kauli Vaast was hitting lips and getting barreled. Yeah,
and bringing some of his Tahiti experience from Chopu, a little bit of Chopu right here at Ballito. And up there, Cole Houshmand, the San Clemente crew on the beach going crazy, and they were really excited with his result in this heat.
Yeah, and for good reason. He's surfing so good, and he's quite a unit as well, Paul. You looked at him, we spoke about it during the heat. You can see that he's just like a big solid man, but he doesn't look like it on some of his surfing, just flaring the fins, getting some nice drifts over the lip, and continues like this, he's looking at a CT spot for sure.
Yeah, big, heavy guy, but pretty light on his feet, able to do that decompress and compress as well, able to take on some big sections and come off with some massive numbers as well. Let's go and hear from the winner of the last heat, standing by with Emma Smith.
Yeah, Dimitri, you made that dreaded Ballito end section, which we all know is really hard, look really easy. Was that something you were focusing on going into this heat?
A little bit, yeah. I kind of fell off on a few of my heat prior and a little irritating. I was like, oh, I got to nail that. So that's kind of one thing I was trying to think about a little bit more in this one. And it seems like a lot of people are getting big scores on just those like lip line hangers. So that's kind of what I was looking for.
Nice. And first time in Ballito, you mentioned you were sick the first few days, but you seem strong and healthy again doing the run around. What do you think of Ballito?
Yeah, I love it. It's super nice here. waves are a lot better than home, so it feels like a surf trip right now, which I'm psyched on, and yeah.
Nice. All the best for the next round.
Thank you.
Yeah, delighted there, Dimitri, and another strong showing for him. And we talk about surfers, you know, maybe that we're uncovering on Challenger Series, and he's putting his hand up here in the pot with some really big, heavy names. He's not lacking confidence, and for good reason. We'll be keeping an eye on him throughout the later rounds in this, but strong performances so far. Thinking of a big day and some of the highlights we've had, we've picked out some moments for you, our top 5 moments of the day. And really it was about surfers taking risk, right? And if you take risk, you can get rewards. That's what the panel basically reiterated first thing this morning, and one of the first people to do that, our 5th moment, it was in heat number 5, Nolan Rapoza, the American.
Yeah, well, this guy's also just been one of the most electric surfers of the event so far for me. Fast, loose, I call him the rock star, and you can see why. He just absolutely blazes down the line on the backhand. Love how he just really activates his rail at speed as well, and just drifting the fins on that last turn.
Jacob Willcox, the series leader coming into this event, carried his momentum through the last couple of heats, and he continued in this one. It was a dominant performance. He led throughout the heat, and look at that lovely hook. He surfed with confidence and didn't catch a lot of waves in the heat, but the ones that he did catch counted, and he used the experience.
Kauli coming out of Tahiti, and he just has also been looking so solid through the first few rounds. He's got so much power on tap and not struggling at all with the power in the lineup either. Love that big turn out of the lip, and also just can't believe how easily he was finding the lefts. Not many other people going left today. He found 2 crackers hitting that big heavy section turn. Wow, that was a big drop off the top of that turn, and also obviously found the barrel.
George Pittar in Heat 3. This is his best result so far on the 2023 Challenger Series. He's gone through a couple of rounds here in Ballito. He was so stoked in his interview that he made it through the heat, and his best results of the year so far, and on a tear here after the 2 Australian leg events that he's been through already.
Well, Cole, for me, very much the standout of the day. Just such a polished performance. Love that fin drift off the back, and just not scared to attack the lip line on a big heavy day at Ballito. He's got a win behind the back already. Got to feel like if he can carry this momentum through to finals day and get into the finals, he's pretty much guaranteed then a slot on the CT. You get 2 10,000s, you're going to the top.
Yeah, absolutely. Cole Houshmand going great guns here at Ballito. Guys, forecast been pretty true to form. Just a quick thought, what are you expecting for, well, the next coming days and to finish up the event, Kai?
Well, look, tomorrow I'm very excited. If we look at the forecast, like beautiful land breezes, the swell will have a bit of time to settle and maybe drop down a bit. And as the tide drains in the morning, I think the ladies are going to probably look at some really good conditions. And then as we swing around off the low, the men are going to come into the water, and I think it could just be barrel city.
Mike, so far so good in terms of the waves we've had, but also the banks are looking good as well. The way the sand and these reefs are working, you're feeling pretty positive about conditions and the shape of these waves for later on in the week?
We sure have, Paul, and we've been watching the swell from about 10 days out. With a lot of that side shore drift today, it would have reshaped that sandbank a little bit, and I think we're in for the best conditions of the entire event tomorrow. And more importantly, we're going to have the right wind.
All right, loving the positivity from these guys. Africa has not let us down so far on the Challenger Series. More good stuff to come. Come back to worldsurfing.com, 7 o'clock local time tomorrow morning. In the meantime, we'll send you out with some highlights. We'll see you tomorrow.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.